Weatherall Sr. and the Raising Carter podcast, the podcast dedicated to fathers with sons, letting you know just how important you are. And I got a question for you. Do you know when you are absent, the harm that is caused by your absence not being in your son's life? And then, because you're not there, because you abandoned ship, he's forced to be raised by his mother in a single parent household, headed by a female. And that, I know people ain't gonna like this, but that could cause harm also. And once again, I got my brother, KV, with me to talk about this subject. And I think this is an awesome subject. And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say about this subject, about fathers being absent and the harm that it can cause their sons.
I don't know why. This is the subject that's gonna get your podcast canceled, bro.
Well, let's get it. Hey, I ain't scared. I ain't scared. Let's get it. Let's get
We're scared of accountability out there, though.
it. Hey, yes.
So, what brought this topic to the forefront of my mind was a discussion I was having with one of the comrades, Brad Fax. We was talking about. It started from an incident where a young man who was exhibiting a lot of feminine behaviors, let's say, raised by a single
Okay.
mom. His dad's locked up. Had posted on Facebook a meme that said, "What's the craziest thing you ever heard somebody say? What craziest rumor you ever heard about yourself?" And he posted that I'm gay, right?
Right.
So we was like, what would make a man, first of all, post that meme? You know what I'm saying? Second of all, you are a young man who is extremely effeminate, who wears purses, for lack of a better word. You got your hair a certain way. The women in your life think you're gay. You know what I'm saying? That says something. If you're a heterosexual male,
Right.
that's it. That's
Right.
saying some things. And so we started to peel back the layers on it. It was like, why? A, would you ever post that about yourself? But B, have the affect of a woman so much so that the people around you would think you gay. And so we like, damn, his pops ain't there. But then we was like, but also his mother is there. You know what I'm saying? And she
Mm-hmm.
has raised him in such a way that he is exhibiting certain traits and qualities. And then we started to peel back even that. It was like, and there's a lot of that. You know what I mean? A young man I work with, 28, but he's super solid. You can tell he was raised by some OGs for real. They don't make him like this no more. He has said,
Right.
when I was discussing it with him, he was like, bro, these women are raising the men that they themselves do not want to be with. The failed relationships they keep having are the same. They raising their young men to be the same as the dudes that they keep having these failed relationships with. And I was like, you know, coming from him,
Wow.
like, wow, bro. And it just all just fell into place. We got a generation of young men that's coming up who are coddled, who are given carte blanche to do whatever. And their mothers are essentially, because they are, so enamored of their sons. Black mothers love the fuck out of their sons, but they kind of loving them to death. They not
Yeah.
allowing them, because they not men themselves. They don't know how to raise men. They think they do, and they do know how to keep us alive and keep us fed properly and housed and clothed. They do all the shit that a dad would do, but they can't do the things that only a dad is capable of doing, which is raising a young man and mold him to be a man, because they are
Right.
not themselves men. And so what they
Exactly.
are raising is young men who may be intelligent, who may, succeed in school, but they are not solid in their cores in a way that a man would raise his son to be. And that's the toxic uh presence of a single mom. They raising sons who won't take out the garbage, who are sassy and smart mouth, who suck their teeth, who I know people gonna get mad about us saying that they feminize, but they are. They have a lot of feminine qualities. They do a lot of the things that women do, and women themselves excuse it. Oh, leave him alone. He just ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
They be the first ones to say that, bro. Your son got on leggings, man. Your son got on a purse, leggings, the same Crocs you wear, the same hairstyle you wear. He it dreaded up, but he got that same ponytail you got. You know what I mean? Some of these
Right.
dudes, they don't. I mean, they clearly mimicking the female
Right.
energy in their lives, and the women are turning a blind eye to it, even if they call it out in the men in the street or the man in the club. When they raising their sons to be like that, then it's a definite silence, or it's okay. It's you know what I mean, allowed. It's we see what it's becoming.
Yeah, it's you're right. You're right. I see it all the time. It's man, I can't think of the YouTube page, and they on TikTok. It's a mother. She got a son, and she be man, she real masculine. She real masculine, and her son, you could tell he kind of he's feminine. He's feminine, and she's always like, nigga, I'll do this to you, like punking him. I'm like, and they got millions of followers. They
Right.
got
Yeah.
millions. They got millions of. I'm like, don't nobody see that it's something wrong with this? Like,
The dynamic all the way
how?
off.
Yeah, like it's the dynamic all the way off, and this ain't even funny. Like
Right.
this not funny. Like she like hella masculine, gangstered out. Just real reckless at the mouth. Like
Right.
no real man would want to be with this woman. Like your mouth is sickening. And
Right.
she just be talking to her son. That's how they got on by doing that.
And
And it's
that's
like
wow.
that's how they got this woman has 3 million followers. And I don't know how many they got together, but
Right.
it's crazy. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
what people
insane.
come to see when they come to their page.
Yeah.
Foolishness.
You know what's even crazier, bro? Some of these households where we just talking about there being an absent father and a present single mom also have a present stepdad who was marginalized when it
Oh
comes to the
man.
decision making and weighing in on trying to raise and mold the son correctly. Moms being
Mm-hmm.
so overprotective of their sons also protect their sons from the stepdad.
Yep.
He could have been there since the child was an embryo. You know what I mean? Dude
Yep.
left immediately. Stepdad been there since day zero, day -1.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to time to implement a difficulty, to put an obstacle in the child's path that they need to overcome in order to grow, the mom will protect the son from the stepdad. I've seen it over and over
Exactly.
again.
I seen it over and one. People might get mad at me, but I don't care because I've been through this whole stepfather stuff. The reason why the man's in your life, ladies, because he cares about you. He loves you that much. He wants to be with you and is willing to take on the responsibility of this child. That's not his.
Right,
Hey, I'm a grown ass man. I don't hear men saying, you know what I want? I want a stepson. I want a stepdaughter. Men
right,
aren't saying that. So for him to do this shows you just how much he wants to be with you.
right.
So for you to marginalize him and not let him have any real say so, you are out of order. You don't want a man in your son's life or your daughter's life. You don't want them in your life. You don't. So don't say we come as a package deal because you're not letting him be a father.
Because they'll switch from our kids to my son real fast.
Yep.
If you
Yeah.
if you start
Yeah.
implementing some type of discipline or telling her back off. let me handle this. Back off a little bit. You doing a little bit of helicopter parenting. You being a little bit of a mother hen. Let me get this. Stop doing X, Y, or Z for him because you crippling him. Stop doing that
Right.
for him. You enabling him. You are preventing him from growing into his manhood, his adulthood. She was like, no, you ain't gonna tell me how to raise my son. But I'm at
Right.
every game, but I'm paying all the bills. I'm when we
Right.
making decisions any other time, we talking about paying for his college tuition, it's us. But when it comes down to me saying, hey, dude ain't gonna be outside with his friends in our front yard doing whatever. He need to mow his grass. He need to take this garbage out. Ain't no reason you should be getting out the car and bringing the groceries in the house when that 16-year-old man in the car with you. You know what I mean? Young man in the
Right.
car with you. He like, don't tell me how to raise my son. He okay. He got it. You know, I got the groceries, and you absolving him from not only responsibility, but from she preventing him from experiencing any hardship or taking on any responsibility. They coddle these young men to the point where they're not young men. They never.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they'll
Outside of the,
say,
go ahead.
but then they'll say, well, you don't spend when it all goes bad, when you're arguing, well, you don't spend any time with him. You don't let me spend any time with him.
All right.
You don't let me spend any time with him. Spending time with him is not just me doing what you think we should do. Spending time with him is not just let him do whatever he wants to do. I
No,
should be able to correct him
absolutely.
when he's wrong.
Because you know I love this
And
child.
right, I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Right. And so for you to see me as an op, because that's how you behave. You see me as an op
Right,
when it comes time to
right,
instill discipline on this young man and tell him no. You know what I mean? To tell him no, or you have to do X, Y, or Z if you're gonna be in this house. That's a problem. What ideas are you implanting in his head? What lines are you drawing in his mind as far as he should treat me? He's been treating me like dad all this time, his whole life. But when we get to this point, you like, no, that's not your son. This is my son. So in his mind, that idea is implanted and reinforced. Oh, you ain't my real
right.
dad. I don't have to. I don't.
I don't have to listen to you.
I don't have to listen to you.
Man, I can ask you for stuff. You can, you know,
Yeah.
when I want stuff or stuff, but when it comes down to discipline, I don't have to listen to you.
Or
Yeah,
the difficult decisions where I know you would put your foot down. I
right.
go around you. I
Yeah.
know that you would say no. I'm gonna go to mama, and if you say something, I'm gonna ignore you.
What is a man? What is a man to do? What are you're forcing him in a corner. You you're forcing him in a corner where he does nothing. He just
Yeah. Now,
he
now, now, if he checks out and say, "Yeah, you're right. Those are your children." Now there's a problem with that.
right.
Now you don't love me or my kids. Or that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Talk about a
Right.
classic catch-22.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think enough. I know women don't think about that. I know they don't think about that. They don't think about the fact that he doesn't have to be here.
Right.
He doesn't have to be here. He's here. And if he's doing the right thing, he's not abusive or physically or mentally. He's just trying to give this young man direction and correction. And you won't let him?
You won't let him because they protecting their sons from all harm. And notice we've never once talked about the daughters because that's a different dynamic. Those
Yeah,
sons,
that's a
though,
different.
black mamas and their sons, man, they love the hell out their sons. But
Right.
it can be
Yeah.
it can be to their detriment.
It can be to their detriment because a lot of time a lot of a lot of women know how to get don't know how I'm not gonna say they don't know how to communicate with their sons, especially when it comes to discipline. It's, they don't know how to get what they want out of them.
Right.
And then they'll turn the table and say, well, why does he listen to you but he doesn't listen to me? It's because you don't know how to talk to him.
Right.
You don't know how to talk to him, and no man, no young boy, no man wants a woman, for lack of a better word, nagging and bitching at him.
Oh no.
They don't.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
they don't. They don't want that. That's not what you want out of your mother. That's not what you want coming from your mother.
Right.
So back to the single mother households. They're the worst households. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. Father mother households is the best way to raise your children, but right behind that is a father led household. The
Absolutely.
mother led household is the worst household,
Yeah.
and
They will be loved, but you can love incorrectly.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can love
I
people
mean,
incorrectly.
yeah. I
I got I
have,
got I got I got to pull your coat to something. So I was having a similar discussion with a couple of the bros, and one of them had made the point that a difficulty with wanting this generation to grow up the way we did is we don't want to necessarily raise our children in the ghetto and have them exposed to certain things, which cause us to grow into the type of men, harden us, you know what I mean, for lack of a better word, and force us to become men of a certain caliber earlier. And I was like, no, I disagree with that. It's not necessarily growing up in a ghetto that did it for us. It was being exposed to responsibility at a younger age, things being demanded of us, and knowing that there was consequences for not following through on that. And the example I gave to prove that point was in decades gone by, kids grew up on a farm or in small towns and were given responsibility and chores and discipline for not following through with those, and they became adults. They was getting married at 14 and able to
yep,
go work in a factory and raise a family working the same job for 70 years straight. Those are men, you know what I mean, of a totally different caliber. And the difference is responsibility. These moms do not enforce any type of responsibility on their sons. They treat them like children all the way up into the age of, well past the age of majority.
yeah. I agree. It's not about us being, raised, you know, it, in the ghetto or whatever. That like we had responsibility. We had responsibility. My mother and father split up, and at a young age, I had responsibility. I had to get out, shovel the snow. You know what I mean? So my mom could come in from work and she didn't have she could get in the driveway. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to but my dad owned his own gas station. And when I went to be with him, if I wanted money, I had to work. He was like, you know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna sit up, you're gonna work. You're gonna pump gas, you're gonna clean up, at the end of the day I'll pay you, you know? And that's why I learned, hey man, Pops he not just gonna give it to me. He always told me, man, I if you're doing right, son, I'll help you. But if I find out that you're not doing right, I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna help you. You out
And
here on your own.
what would your mama have done if had she come home, try to drive up in her driveway and it was icy and she couldn't get in there? That car went to slide.
Man,
What was gonna happen?
man, all hell was gonna break loose when she came through. I ain't and I I I love my mom so much. I didn't want that. You know what I
She don't
mean?
have to
That
tell
would
you
have hurt.
once.
Yeah, she
She
didn't have
don't
to
have to
tell
tell you
me.
once.
She didn't have to tell me. She wasn't coming up in there when no snow was gonna be up in there. You know what I mean? That wasn't gonna happen. But and back to what you said, the sons today, the kids, the young men today, they're so coddled. They don't have that. They love their mom, but it's warped. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
if
because they're
you
giving things they're
if
giving
you
things unconditionally. Your father put conditions
yeah
upon what he was
yeah
willing to do for you.
yeah
These children are given everything they want without restriction, without responsibility, without anything being asked of them. The
Right.
most
Exactly.
they may be asked is to bring home some good grades. But what about
Right.
responsibilities in the household and in real life? In real
Yeah.
life. No, they can do whatever they
Yeah.
want. They can say whatever they want. They can behave however they want. Still got a PS5 coming. Still got all the Jordans. Still got uh
Yeah.
$250 wig, $125 install. And now I'm getting to all the children now. And it's just, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, you're right. They can, they can be on sports teams and disrespect coaches and it's okay. You see that you see this kind of stuff all the time.
Not
And
just okay. The parents will jump on the coach if the coach
yeah,
had
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
temerity
It's the
to try
coach's
to
yeah,
discipline the kid.
yeah. It's the coach's fault. It's the teacher's fault. And like I was just gonna say, and they it their their entitlement is warped because if you say something about their mama, they'll fight you. They'll
Yeah,
fight you. They'll fight you. But you respecting her, you don't do that. You'll be on
Mm.
TikTok fighting your mama too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It could go both ways. So yeah, the absence of fathers in the household does so much harm and is so overlooked. It upsets me. That's why I started this podcast. And also, and another thing is that men also, it's so many men who don't care about manhood nowadays. Like people ask me, like, well, why is being a man and manhood so important to you? Well, I ask, why isn't it important to you?
Right.
You a man? Why isn't it important to you about manhood? You just become a unisex, like you don't care anymore. It's crazy.
It's a
It's
free for
crazy,
all.
KV. It's
It's a free for
crazy,
all.
KV. It's
Yeah.
crazy, KV. Yeah,
They say,
like
what what is it that do unto others that no, judge not lest you be judged. It's basically people asking for a blank check for you to do whatever you want to do and allow me to do whatever I want to do, and you can't say
yes,
nothing to me, I can't say nothing to you. When that's
yeah.
not
That's
even how
how.
the scripture goes. That's not how the scripture goes. The scripture
That's
reads,
how.
judge not lest she be judged, and with what measure you judge by. See, they used to be a yardstick that was held up to people, a ruler. You know what I mean? This is how you should behave and conduct and carry yourself. Now
Yes.
everybody like, I'm gonna do me, you do you, you live in your truth, I'm gonna live in my
Yeah.
truth.
Oh my
Like,
God, I can't
and
stand this
it's
shit.
just a free for all. You do whatever you want to do, and then we look at everybody's conduct, and because it's all based upon the glorification of the self, the gratification of the self, then we see what type of monstrous individuals, character wise, come out of that. Yeah, if you only thing you care about is your own pleasure, you're gonna be a fucked up individual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Oh,
that's how
what?
so many people. And
I'm
that's how
just gonna say rotten.
yeah. That's how so many people are, man. They they just care about themselves and what's next up for them.
Yep.
What's next up. What's next up for me, and that's why like I said, I started the podcast because when you start a podcast, they ask you what you want to talk about. And I think I could talk about being a father all day and being a man all day. And that has gone out that has gone out the door. That men don't even care about being men no more.
Right.
They just care about what just they just care about themselves.
Yeah.
They just care about themselves. They just care about themselves. Oh man, man, we gonna go to this man, we going to this event, man, this and that. Uh, that's it. That's it,
Yeah.
and
What we have is
that
selfishness combined with the lack of shame. That's what
yes,
we
sir.
have. I'm individualistic. It's all about me, and I don't care what y'all say. I don't care how it makes you feel. That's the lack of
Right.
shame. When
Right.
when
I
before you may have been you may have been terrified to embarrass your mama or your father or your grandparents or your people or your brother, bring disrepute on their name. You don't even care. You don't even. You'll do anything. You would rat on cats. You would You
Right.
a snake your guy since day one. You will do all manner of ill, foul stuff and think it's fine because it did good for you. I mean, you came out on top.
No. I came out on top. I'm still, it's all good. I'm still, I got what I wanted.
Right.
I got what I wanted. So it doesn't matter. And that's a reflection of fathers not being around, not
Yeah,
being around
absolutely.
and not correcting their sons, you know?
Because you can't be born real. You got to be taught. You got to be taught that.
Yeah.
The- there's certain behaviors that need to be explained. That you should always do this or carry yourself like this because of this. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
is to a degree. Children are, you know what I mean, to a degree. They looking out for their own interests. They like, why wouldn't I do this if it's going to get me this? And as a father, they would be like, especially for a young man, no, you don't do this because it will bring shame on your name, or it will bring, you know what I mean? It will have
Right.
these consequences that you're not even thinking about for others around you. And they don't get that. They don't get none of that. It's just all about me
Yeah,
because
yeah. Those lessons never been passed down.
the
But
lesson never been passed down.
yeah. And I can remember I got a stepdaughter. She's a nice young lady. She's a nice young lady. But she said she was dating a guy or just meet a guy, just met a guy. She's like, yeah, I want to bring him over, to meet you and and my wife. So I'm like, cool, I'm like, whatever, cool. So she brings him over and or like he's here, so I come down and he's like talking to her and my wife, and then he goes to shake my hand, KV, and he don't look me in the eye. He kind of like shakes my hand and looks to the side, and I'm like, for one, and his appearance, like his hair was like all over his head, you know what I mean? I'm like his handshake and him not looking me in the eye. I was like, I don't like him.
Mm.
I was like, I don't like him because you should all you only get one time to make a first impression. You only get one time to make a first impression on a man or on a situation. And you cannot take that shit lightly. When
All
you
right.
shake a man's hand, you look him in the eye. Especially if you coming to try to take his daughter out on a date. You don't just you you don't and it's so things like that young men don't understand. And I know from back in my day that I loved girls who didn't have a daddy.
All right. Absolutely.
You
They
you
call
don't
it
got a daddy?
fatherless behavior for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't got no daddy? Oh yeah, I know. I already know what I got planned for you. So just the fact that so many young men don't understand things as simple as that.
Let me
As
say
simple
something
as
though. That was a teachable moment on your part. And I know because I use that exact similar scenario to teach. Meet a young man. I don't have a daughter, but you meet a young man. I'm like, what's up? We'll go to shake my hand and give me the lint or grab my fingers right
mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I grab the hand. I don't let it go. You know what I mean? Hey, that ain't no handshake. You got to be in the pocket. You know what I mean? And I walk them
Right.
through every step of it, including the eye contact. Like the man don't shake hands like that. I mean, you
Nah,
have
bro.
firm grip. You get in that pocket, you grab it, and you shake and you look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how a man
Yeah.
shake hands. And they were like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
So that was
Right.
that was
Yeah.
a teachable moment for little dude because he probably wanted a fatherless son. He doing
Yeah.
he don't know.
Yeah, he didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And I agree, but I wasn't
It was turned off. It was a turn off for you. I
it,
get it.
it, it was yeah, it was a turn off. It was a turn off, but you right. And but a lot of young men and older men, we don't know how to take correction. We don't
No,
we don't know
that's
how to
true.
we don't accept it well. We don't accept it well at all. if it's never been done for you, to
Right.
you, you think,
Absolutely.
oh, he hating. He well,
Woo. For
no, bro,
sure.
I'm just trying to tell you something. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to and that's something you gotta get over yourself. You gotta learn to get over yourself and listen, when somebody's trying to help you, when
Yeah.
somebody's trying to help
You see how this
you,
Arizona sun trying to outshine me? Crazy. I can't
Yeah,
have no.
man. Yeah, man. But I love our conversations, man, and
Yeah.
we gotta
Always.
keep doing it. We gotta keep
Yeah.
doing it. We gonna keep doing it. And I think this was another great one, man. This was
Yeah.
another great one. This was another great one that fathers, this podcast is for you. And this podcast is for men. But you gotta understand just how important you are. And this topic, we were trying to let you know that if you're not there, then he's gonna be raised by his mother. No shade against mothers, but
Right.
it's
The
important.
outcome gonna be a son that you yourself would not respect. Just be honest.
Yeah, yeah. You said it in the beginning. These mothers are raising men that they wouldn't even want.
Nope.
You wouldn't even want. You get on all these podcasts and all these shows talk about how sorry on social media, how sorry men are, and your son might be one of the sorriest. The one you got in
Absolutely.
your house, the one you got in your house that won't, like KB said, that won't take out the garbage, that play video games all day, who dropped out of school, might you pushing. That's the product you pushing out on the street.
Yeah. That's the product you pushing out on the street. Oh wow. Yeah.
Facts,
Yeah, for sure. Facts. Facts.
man, brother. I appreciate you being here, man. Anything you want to say to the people before we end this episode?
No, I mean I'll see the people again real soon. We're gonna keep
Yes,
doing this.
sir. We gonna keep doing this, man.
KV several
And
levels. You gotta
so
correct my introduction though, man. You be like, yeah, it's my brother KV. You gotta put the several levels on it, man, because I do
okay.
so many things, man. The several
Yes,
levels is important.
yes. You heard it, people. I gotta correct that introduction, and from now on, we gonna always introduce my brother KB several levels because he does so many things, and he helps out with this podcast. And I just want to say, man, when you trying to do something, get with people that are trying to do something too. You can't keep running with the same friends. You trying to do something big, you trying to do something different. You gotta meet some more people. You gotta meet some new people because that's how things happen for you. That's how things happen for you. So I want to thank my brother for coming on and joining me with this podcast, and we will see you next time on the Raising Carter podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.